tell you, most of the things you hear, criminals that are not obedient. You don't see anybody who is calling anybody bad name. We are not asking for division. I personally do not in any way. You've never seen me call anybody bad name or anything. We are in ADC. We respect everybody who is in ADC. We can say, oh, we want to this or want to be that. But as for calling people bad name, we are not part of it. I don't subscribe to it, and I'm not part of it. The people I met there from the party chairman is my very dear elder brother. People like Atiku are my leader, my respected elder brother. Amechi is my brother, we're very close, and so is El Rufai, name them, all of them that are there. We're the same thing. You have Lely Moke, you have Governor Fatai, Oyegunu is our elder brother, Aribo Shola, these are my colleagues. So I cannot say anything bad about them. And those who are following me, I assure you, will not say anything bad about them. But you have some elements that are trying to introduce that in order to see if they can hurt the P2B brand. We are talking to everybody. That is not what we should be doing in politics. Let's talk about out-of-school children. Let's talk about hungry Nigerians. Let's talk about unemployed Nigerians. Let's talk about insecurity. Our people are being kidnapped, 150, in a church, in a mosque, in everything. That should be our preoccupation.
You know, in politics, you will have divergence and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them see reason into the pathway is the most important thing. And I believe His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, will do justice to that. It is expected that all Obidient should come together and rally round, because we need to win this election for Dr. Mo, the Obidient movement, and then the ADC. So all of us must be seen to be working together under one umbrella. If there are differences, we'll call ourselves as brothers and sisters and settle the differences and negotiate to ensure that we give full support to the candidate that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is supporting. That was the reason why we've been crying long before now that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is the person that they are targeting, because they want to make sure that he does not have a ticket to run. But I can say there's a lot of political parties, but here Mr. Peter Obi, as a Democrat and a collective person, is interested in a larger entity, and so he has moved into a group of people cut across the Federal Republic of Nigeria because of the interest of Nigerian people. So that shows that he's not a selfish person. And so he decided to bring back the Labour Party. Don't be surprised, the Labour Party may also be in the coalition, because this is just a coalition of individuals. There may still be a coalition of political parties. The Otto Nwankwo, those who lost their life at NSAS, those who lost their lives in the struggle for democracy, making sure that Nigeria is a very good society that all of us can be happy about. That is the core energy of the Obidient movement. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us. So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obidient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obidient movement. You should use the strength of the Obidient movement to win elections. These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals. These are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And so therefore, if that energy is what is going to propel us into winning, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody who believe in a new Nigeria, that want to change in Nigeria, the Obidient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, we should leverage on the energy of the Obidient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency.
Yeah, everywhere, including here at On Our Politics. My guest is a foremost Nollywood actor, and in a swift move, he became a political activist.
So,
in the build-up to the 2023 elections, he emerged as a leading spokesman of the Peter Obi presidential campaign.
Let me tell you, most of the things you hear, criminals that are not obedient people. You don't see anybody who is calling anybody bad name. We are not asking for division. I personally do not in any way, you've never seen me call anybody bad name or anything. We are in ADC. We respect everybody who is in ADC. We can say, oh, we want to be this or want to be that. But as for calling people bad name, we are not part of it. I don't subscribe to it, and I'm not part of it. The people from the party chairman is my very dear elder brother. People like Atiku are my leader, my respected elder brother. Amechi is my brother, we're very close, and so is El Rufai. Name them, all of them that are there. We're the same thing. You have Lely Moke, you have Governor Fatai, Oyegunu is our elder brother, Aribo Shola, these are my colleagues. So I cannot say anything bad about them. And those who are following me, I assure you, will not say anything bad about them. But you have some elements that are trying to introduce that in order to see if they can hurt the P2B brand. We are talking to everybody. That is not what we should be doing in politics. Let's talk about out-of-school children. Let's talk about hungry Nigerians. Let's talk about unemployed Nigerians. Let's talk about insecurity. Our people are being kidnapped, 150, in a church, in a mosque, in everything. That should be our preoccupation.
You know, in politics, you have divergence view and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them serious into the pathway is the most important thing. And I believe His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, will do justice to that. It is expected that all Obidient should come together and rally round, because we need to win this election for Dr. Mo, the Obidient movement, and then the ADC. So all of us must be seen to be working together under one umbrella. We'll call ourselves as brothers and sisters and settle the differences and negotiate to ensure that we give full support to the candidate that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is supporting. That was the reason why we've been crying long before now that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is the person that they are targeting. We want to make sure that he does not have a ticket to run. But I can say there's a lot of political parties. But here, Mr. Peter Obi, as a Democrat and a collective person, is interested in a larger entity. And so he has moved into a group of people called the Federal Republic of Nigeria, called young people. So that shows that he's not a selfish person. And so they have decided to bring back the Labour Party. All well and good. Don't be surprised. The Labour Party may also be in the coalition, because this is just a coalition of individuals. There may still be coalition of political parties.
coalition of individuals.
The Otto Nwankwo, those who lost their life at NSAS, those who lost their life in the struggle for democracy, making sure that Nigeria is a very good society that all of us can be happy about. That is the core energy of the Obidient movement. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us. So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obidient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obidient movement. You should use the strength of the Obidient movement to win elections. These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals. These are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And so therefore, if that energy is what is going to propel us into winning, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody believe in Nigeria, the Obidient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, We should leverage on the energy of the Obidient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Politics on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you.
Let me tell you, most of the things we hear, criminals that are not obedient people. You don't see anybody who is calling anybody bad name. We are not asking for division. I personally do not in any way. You've never seen me call anybody bad name or anything. We are in ADC. We respect everybody who is in ADC. We can say, oh, we want to be this, we want to be that, but as people, we are not part of it. I'm not part of it. The people I met there from the party chairman is married their elder brother. People like Atiku are my leader, my respected elder brother. Amechi is my brother, we're very close, and so is El Rufai, name them, all of them that are there. We're the same thing. You have Lely Moke, you have Governor Fatai, Oyegunu is our elder brother, Aribo Shola, these are my colleagues. So I cannot say anything bad about them. And those who are following me, I assure you, will not say anything bad about them. But you have to in order to see Peter Obi Brown. We are talking to everybody.
Peter Obi Brown. Peter Obi is playing a very delicate game of digital border control. He refused to, join the party from the beginning. He's been playing TikTok for obvious reasons, because they are after him and anything that is associated with him. So, and that's why he's playing now, infiltrating the Obidient movement. That's why you are seeing this. And it came out, Obi, somebody that came out at the after the 2023 election and said that his movement is bigger than any political party. I don't think people did not, but he meant it. He believed in the Obidient movement. It's more of a color revolution for him, and his competitors understand what that movement entails, that they are not going anywhere. It's a generation that don't know the past, very interested in the future, but present is more important to them. And that group of constituency will keep growing as so Peter Obi is playing a very game of digital borders. I will control the voices coming out from the internet right now. In January 2026, started beating already, and the heat is on. So Obi is in a coalition with very strong individuals, but from what Tanko is saying, this is just a coalition of individuals. There will be a coalition of parties. Means that Obi no go run under ADC. Obi will not run under ADC, and then there are other political parties that will join him once he decide to. And that will be an interesting time. So that's why you see attack is coming for Obedience. And what they are doing this time around is not confronting the Obedient. Instead, they infiltrated them. They stay among them. They are, don't be surprised, top hierarchy of disobedience, and informants of the opposition party. So Obi is in the room with the ADC heavyweights. him included, potential grand coalitions. But from what Tanko is saying, this is just a coalition of individuals. Will be a political party. This journey no go last. It no go last, and that's what I expected. I don't expect to deputize anybody at this point in his presidential ambition. Instead, the current they will deputize will be Atiku is the owner of that ticket. I've said it, and I'm not backing down. Amechi is going to deputize him on that ticket. It's going to be Atiku and Amechi. Obi will leave for another party. His running mates, I don't know yet. Don't follow that. It ain't gonna work. So the problem here, the Obidient army, the very army, the very force that brought Obi to power, that give him this, make him phenomenal among his peers, is being accused now of burning the bridges before he can even cross it. This is not new. It's just that it's going to different dimension from now on. I said it before of this electoral cycle that 2027 is about Obi, not necessarily about Tinubu. Tinubu is not going anywhere. Tinubu will continue, but there is a strong position to stop Obi presidential ambition and go beyond this 2027. So that's what all this is about, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not backing down. As we get closer to the D-Day, all of them will turn their gun on him, politically speaking. They will go after him to see if they can stop that, they can kill that ambition. Because anything will make Obi do well, get 6 million above, better his position, there will be trouble. That gentleman agreement, turn by turn, I think he might not live long to see another presidential cycle. So every time an anonymous account with a green heart, with a yes, we want to be. When you see an agent who is sent from, but anytime you see their comments, you go no. I am from the north. Obi is what we want. Without Obi, those people are agents. If no be Obi, there are some kind of phrase they use. There's some kind of words. That really it's not down with it. So Obi coming out to disavow them, to disown them, to say, hey, these individuals are not them. Going after the cyber trolls is only trying to perform a political duty. That's what he needed to do. We call it exorcism. Essentially, he's saying that I built this house, but I didn't invite the people throwing the furnitures, people throwing the shades, people insulting people. People who say this, I did not invite those people into the movement that I own, build, however you want to it. To win in 2027, it needs more than just viral tweets. It needs more than just the internet noise. It needs more than handshake with the elders, calling all these elder brother and my senior brother, all those things. It needs more than that. It needs to stay very guided. So by labeling the unwanted voice, the infiltrators, as toxic, It's just to keep the same energy. Remember when going to 2023, when he could come out and say, when he refused to criticize the Obidient, even when the opposition party is using media, content creator, journalists to push him to condemn the Obidient, and he refused, right? It's just because that energy need to be sustained. If you come out and condemn them, that they don't finish with that. The Obidient brand might just be the end of it if he condemn them. So it's very how would they talk about somebody whoever is advising him not to go that route, the person head the house. What the fuck is going on, man? Okay, internet don't misbehave, I think. So as far as I'm concerned, Obidient, instead of Obidient to, I mean, the energy they have on the online, they should sustain it, but they need more than that on the streets. Energy to be felt. They've lost 3 years. They have few months to still make it up. It's possible. Fish, the infiltrators go offline, enter streets. I advocated for go a fishing 3 times a week. Go there and preach the gospel of Obi and what it belongs to the people 3 times a week. Home self meet twice a week and what you find out on the street, what the people are saying. That's what you should be doing by now with the Obedience. That's the only way you can frustrate the infiltrators. So the energy of the youth of the Obedient need to be sustained, but at the same time, is washing his hands off the insults, you know. So, but Nigeria with the Nigeria social media don't disappoint. So it is very difficult for him to separate the unwanted voice and the unnecessary voice among the Obedience as far as the digital world is concerned, going by AI, fake videos, fake voice, and fake everything. So in order to beat that, because now they are number one opponent to that, if there's anything that is capable of stopping the Obi brands of achieving same success or better, says what is happening. They don't infiltrate those people. You can hardly differentiate who is the real Obedient and who is not. And that's not an easy task to accomplish. You would not realize that planning among the top echelons of the Obedient, even though they no one make an public that they have a structure, they have leaders. They do have leaders, right? But I promise you, the reason why they don't want to make their leaders as open as it should be, it is because of what Obi is fighting right now, infiltration. If you don't know who you go make a secretary or you go make PRO, where the opposition will go approach that person, double your offer. So to separate them, the guy will need to make a bold move. So if he can't, because if he can't convince the coalition that is the control of his own soul, because that's what they were going to use against him. At the point before you know, they will begin to talk, say those people, those his followers cannot be accommodated. And that is because he cannot separate himself from the followership. And that's not a normal thing. If you try him, he's done. So this is him making case for that his followership, genuine followership, that every other unwanted voice that you'll be hearing from henceforth are not part of us. So he's in a very, 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 very dire situation. They are trying to boss him to the corner. If he's not careful, even if you decided to form another coalition, another party coalition, those parties will not follow him because of the way they are trying to portray the obedience. Because they done everything, right? They took Labour Party away from him. They did everything to coerce some of the top soldiers, Kenneth and the rest of them. And the last straw is to destroy the Obidient movement. How do you destroy the Obidient movement? Infiltrate them with bad actors. So don't be surprised you go see they're going to kill people when rally and protest and campaign does start. Killing people in the sense that an accident will happen. Some hoodlums will just, in the name of obedience, and carry out the capital punishment, and that will be the end. They will use the opportunity to go after them with arrest and, the good old stuff.
Most of the things we hear, criminals that are not obedient people. You don't see anybody who is anybody bad. We are not asking. I personally do not in any way. You've never seen me call anybody bad name or anything. We are in ADC. We respect everybody who is in ADC. We can say, oh, we want to be that. But as for calling people, we are not part of it. I don't subscribe to it, and I'm not part of it. The people I met there from the party chairman is my very dear elder brother. People like Atiku are my leader, my respected elder brother. Amechi is my brother, we're very close, and so is El Rufai, name them, all of them that are there. We're the same thing. You have Lely Moke, you have Oyegunu, Aribo Shola, these are my colleagues. So I cannot say anything bad about them. And those who are following me, I assure you, will not say anything bad about them. But you have some elements that are trying to introduce that. To see everybody, that is not of school children. Let's talk about hungry Nigerians. Let's talk about unemployed Nigerians. Let's talk about this setup. 150 in a church, in a mosque, in everything. That should be our preoccupation.
You know, in politics, you will have divergence and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them see reason into the pathway is the most important thing. And I believe His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, will do justice to that. It is expected that all Obidient should come together and rally around, because we need to win this election for Dr. Mo, the Obidient movement, and then the ADC.
Dr. Mo.
So all of us must be seen to be working together under one umbrella. If there are differences, we'll call ourselves as brothers and sisters and settle the differences and negotiate to ensure that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is. That was the reason why we've been crying long before now that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is the person that they are targeting. Because
I think you guys are a little bit too late. Allow Edo election slide without making any statements. Allow Anambra, which should be the headquarters of the Obidient, being the home of Obi. You guys did not make any statements. And I don't know, but this should be an easy one. It should be an easy one, and it should be loud. Yes, you guys are a little bit too late, but it's possible. They expect the Obedience to take over Abuja. Come, what next month? Maybe the election. Yeah. That's the only way they can make a statement. Say, yes, we are back.
they don't want to. They want to make sure that he does not have a ticket to run. But
that's the goal, and that's normal. That's not new. That's the job of a competitor. That's how the game is played.
I can say there's a lot of political parties, but Mr. Peter Obi, as a Democrat and a collective, is interested in a larger entity. And so he has moved into a group of people cut across the Federal Republic of Nigeria because of the interest of Nigerian people. So that shows that he's not a selfish person. And so they have decided to bring back the Labour Party. All well and good. Don't be surprised. The Labour Party may also be in the coalition, because this is just a coalition of individuals.
This is
There
a
may still be a
coalition of
coalition
individuals.
of political parties.
There will be a coalition of political
Science,
parties. I
the author
love
one.
that. Because now waiting I don't talk, because it doesn't make sense. I remember January 1st when Obi make that move to ADC. It doesn't make sense to me. I was like, I just couldn't make, other than the fact that he's scared of him being attacked beyond the point of him being able to actually put up a formidable competition. Other than that, that means you have to stay in within them. You don't know who is going to be with you. So other than that, it doesn't make sense to me where Ingogo joined a party that is obviously being put together by Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Ameti. But I understand it's also for the optics. So since then, I say it doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think that is the end of his movement. They will, because Obi is very emphatic about the movement that he has built, the Obidient movement. It is a brand that he has come out openly to say that it is bigger than any political party in Nigeria. I think people forgot that. So, and there's a reason why he's doing that, because if you look at the demography of the country, if you look at the constituencies of the young people, it is growing, because people don't understand that we are going to, by 2031, we are going to have three solid generations. Like three solid generation, at least from, that means from, we are going to have people from the age of 1 to 60 who belongs to the same bracket in terms of political power and economic power. They are broke, they are poor, and they don't have any leverage. So why Obi constantly saying that my movement, the Obidient movement, is bigger than a political party, is looking at this demography. It's looking at the demography. So that's why however they won't do it. That's why the opposition is making it now a priority to go after that brand. You can't stop them, you can't bully them, you can't, I mean, they are not even visible, but they are very audible. So how do you do that? Is to infiltrate them and help them sing their chorus, help them plan the attackers. So that is what Obi is coming out to get and say, come, this phrases that is coming out of some people's mouth and the kind of people they are targeting, this is not sick of the obedience that I nurture. So all this is leading to the fact that at the end of the day, any moment from now, days, months, week, the Obi will lead the Obidient out of the ADC to a permanent resident where he will run. But for that, he just want to maintain that cohesiveness so that they will not have any room to be sink in his attack. If all the opposition party have a probable cause, have the same reason to keep going after him, they cannot escape that. But if they are divided in their attack, it's not really going to work.
Call those who lost their life at NSAS, those who lost their life in the struggle for democracy, making sure that Nigeria is a very good society that all of us can be happy about. That is the core energy of the Obidient movement. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us. So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obidient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obidient movement. You should use the strength of the Obidient movement to win elections. These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals.
They just want to win election. Power they just want. And I said it before when I went close to Obi, when I went to Harvard, where he was was engaged in making speeches and all that shit. And I could see through his eye, this one, I was standing right there in his face. I even has a question. I could know that this is a man that just wants power. And it's obvious. That's what they are confessing now. If you want to win an election, come join us. They are not really, it is not about Nigeria for them. It's not about actually bringing a new change. Because if that is actually at the core of what they stand for, they will have to go to the villagers for two obvious reasons. One, that's where the number is. Two, that's where Tinubu's strength lies. That people don't understand this. These old gag, this class of 66 who are still in power, they understand the rural community more than any other professor or every other educated or exposed person that you can ever think of in that country. Because they know who and who to approach to bring the numbers from the rural village. So anybody who actually want to change the status quo and is excluding the majority, brother, now just selfish individuals who just want power. There's nothing wrong in wanting power, but framing it as if you want to save the people is ridiculous.
There are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And so therefore, if that energy is what is going to propel us into winning, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody who believes in a new Nigeria, that want to change in Nigeria, the Obidient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, we should leverage on the energy of the Obidient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency.
They are not in the villages. That's where I promise you that. If they are there,
Let me tell you,
recommend
most of the things you hear,
movement.
criminals that are not obedient.
Hypocrite the strategy of the Redeemed Christian Church of God and that of winners into your structure. Right now, if not, nothing will change. If you really want to get to the numbers, the real numbers, you want to actually bring people out to make a statement, to bring a change, you have to do two things. Go on a fishing, as the Redeems will say, 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, when I won't do them, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go out there on a fishing. See nothing less than 40,000 agents on the streets talking to people, taking the gospel of the Obi into the people that needed it most. No come internet they harass me, say I no support. No, you don't preach to the choir. You don't see a Christian, you don't see pastor from Redeem going to a Muslim community trying to convince a Muslim to turn Christian. Or do you see a Christian, a Muslim clerk going to a Christian community trying to tell them to convince to a Muslim? No. These people both go into unbelievers' territory, quote unquote, to go and convince them to join them. Why is the Obidient going into the face of APC, every other people who are politically inclined already, trying to convince them to join you? No. Go out there, go and meet the people who don't have much information as to what is happening now, and let them know. Those are the people who reside in the rural villages. They are not as privileged as those who live in the city in terms of the kind of information they consume. Those are the unbelievers when it comes to political arena. Go and meet them. You should have nothing less than 40 years on the street 3 times a week, telling them what obedience means, what the obedience stands for, what the country you guys wants to build. That's one. 2, meet 2 times a week as a home sale. That's what I take that from Winners. Winners does home sale every week, whatever, because their churches is not on every street like the Redeem. So they meet, they do what they call home sale. So what the Obedience should do, they will meet 2 times a week and compare notes. Say, okay, I was on the streets, I was in this village so, and I talked to a group of people, group of women, group of this is their concern. This is what they are saying. They are getting our message, they are not getting our message. That's how you do this thing. Anything less than that, nothing will change, because you cannot mobilize the men in power, especially as far as Nigeria is concerned. They have what it takes. They have the financial power. They also have the monopoly of violence to go everywhere. You, on the other side, you ain't got it. So you have to work.
The author one call.
Let me tell you, most of the things we hear, criminals that are not obedient people. You don't see anybody who is calling anybody bad name. We are not asking for division. I personally do not in any way. You've never seen me call anybody bad name or anything. We are in ADC. We respect everybody who is in ADC. I want to be that. But as for calling people, we are not part of it. I don't subscribe to it, and I'm not part of it. The people I met there from the party chairman is my very dear elder brother. People are my leader, elder brother. Amechi is my brother. We're very close. And so is El Rufai. Name them, all of them that are there. We're the same thing. You have Lely Moke, you have Gona Fatai, Oyegunu is our elder brother, Aribo Shola, these are my colleagues. So I cannot say anything bad about them. And those who are following me, I assure you, will not say anything bad about them. But you have not if they can hurt the P2B brand. To everybody, that is not what we should be doing in politics. Let's talk about out-of-school children.
At least I see about 16 people there watching. More not like now, share or get the fuck off.
Let's talk about hungry Nigerians. Let's talk about unemployed Nigerians. Let's talk about insecurity. Our people are being kidnapped. 150 in a church, in a mosque, in everything. That should be our preoccupation.
You know, in politics, you will have divergence view and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them see reason into the pathway is the most important thing. And I believe His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, will do justice to that. It is expected that all Obidient should come together and rally round, because we need to win this election for Dr. Mo, the Obidient movement, and then the ADC. So all of us must be seen to be working together under one umbrella. If there are differences, we'll call ourselves as brothers and sisters and settle the differences and negotiate to ensure that we give full support to the candidate that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is supporting. That was the reason why we've been crying long before now, that Peter Obi is the person that they are targeting, because they want to make have a ticket to run. But I can say there's a lot of political parties. But here, Mr. Peter Obi, as a Democrat and a collective person,
I think again, the Obedience are making one very dangerous mistake. This man should have a second in command. Tanko should have somebody who's deputizing him or who is working side by side with him, and that person should be a young woman. People, Nigerian, okay, let me be very specific. The class of 66 deliberately not paying attention to women when it regards to their political power. The Nigerian woman is subdued via her culture, via her religion, and then the political class put a nail on that. So that's like 50% of the population of the country. Obedience should have a champion, a spokesperson that is always out there just focusing on the women. Tinubu did that, even though they decided, they are still doing it. That is the role Hanatu Anatawa is playing. That was the role Becky, Dr. what be that name? From Calabar, that finally got the position of a minister, then they do a mago, they push her out. That was the role that she played. So I'm surprised, outside Aisha Yusuf, who is pretty much at this point resigned to the internet, to YouTube, who really she's focused on how she's going to be, she's going to get a seat into the elite circle, because that's the goal, that's her next goal. That's why she registered, come and register bothly. And I promise you, come 2027, if she doesn't get elected, she will get a position. It doesn't matter who becomes the president. So they need somebody that has equally firepower, that will be on the street doing exactly what this man is doing. Tanko is not online. He's doing something on ground, even though that is up for debate. But they need a fellow young woman that would say, no be all these women where they shout up and down in terms of online, will be their content creators or what do they call them? What do they call them? The enforcers of whatever. But they're influencers. They need somebody who can articulate policies and issues like this, but from the women folks. I know pay me for that.
Is interested in a larger entity, and so he has moved into a group of people cut across the Federal Republic of Nigeria because of the interest of Nigerian people. So that shows that he's not a selfish person. And so they have decided to bring back the Labour Party. All well and good. Don't be surprised. The Labour Party may also be in the coalition, because this is just a coalition of individuals. There may still be a coalition of political parties.
I think that's the most important thing of what you said.
This
is a coalition of individuals. There will be a coalition of parties. In other words, they will soon go their separate ways. I understand the game both of them are playing. They are trying not to give the Bola Tinubu administration an easy job to frustrate and or to dismantle them. But from as far as I'm concerned, what the Obidient don't understand is that both the Atiku and the Obidient are playing the same game. They are the target. So there will be a coalition of parties. That will be the final stage where Obi will declare his candidate, his candidacy, not in ADC. ADC is they are coming together in order not to create tension, not to divide the country. But unfortunately, the rhetoric for the past months has exposed that, thanks to Donald Trump's action on December 25th.
Who lost their life at NSAS, those who lost their life in the struggle for democracy, making sure that Nigeria is a very good society that all of us can be happy about. That is the core energy of the Obidient movement. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us.
They need to change they need new, I don't know who they like. Do they have a think tank? They tell them what they say. This idea of naming past heroes, that is naming the brutality that's for, yes, it's just one part of what, as far as I'm concerned, the obedience should be about. The obedience should be about the current situation that is happening. They are not taking advantage of what is happening globally. Maybe because they are not inclined, they are not that sophisticated in terms of how geopolitics work. How can you see at a time whereby the whole world is negotiating and our leader, Bola Tinubu government, is neither here or there, and the opposition it's just disheartening that at a time that the superpower are head-bent on recolonizing it, no political party, no candidate is taking advantage of that and say, hey, wake up, Nigerians. This is dangerous. Because this is time for you to wake everybody up with what is happening. We are being recolonized. There's no any other way to put it. Our fate is being decided again once without us being on the table. But fortunately, we have a group of leaders who are hell-bent on just looking for power without necessarily what time it is. But I'm kind of disappointed that the Obedience, who are going to, I said the Obedient, accuse them because they represent the young people of Nigeria. No one, nobody, even on the internet space, seems to be capitalizing on what is happening in the world in their own favor. Instead, they are interested in how Bola Tinubu the trip. It's unnecessary bullshit. At a time whereby our resources is being carted away for free. But nobody is actually articulated enough to put it out there to capitalize on that. Not even the content creators. Before somebody go tell us, what you they do? I'm not an Obedient. They ain't paying me to work for them.
So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, no lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obedient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obedient movement. You should use the strength of the Obedient movement to win elections.
There's no criteria. That means the Obedient doesn't stand on anything. They don't have an ideology. They don't have a direction. They don't have sense of that. They have nothing. That's why they just throw it open. If you want to win election, if you are interested in winning election, just come. We are there for you to take advantage of. So it doesn't matter who. So I don't know. I find it sad and disappointing. That's with the current atmosphere, politically speaking, around the globe. This is still we are still stuck in our own ways. It's disappointing. How you go talk say me? There was a difference between that and APC. When I won't kill my uncle, Adams Oshimole, when he said that if you as soon as you join APC, all your sins are forgiven. I'm paraphrasing. What's the difference between that and this? It doesn't matter who you is. Come and join us if you're interested in winning an election. I mean, you can argue that's not what it meant, but that's how it sounds. That is sentiment that is putting out there. Because Oshomole too also argued the same thing, that's not what it meant.
These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals. These are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And therefore, if that energy is what is going to win it, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody who believes in a new Nigeria, that want to change in Nigeria, the Obedient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, we should leverage on the energy of the Obedient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency.
So when you see people like us who are
joining us now with stories trending around the world, it's been by Mutinhiri Ekpenyong. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo.
Let's listen to the conscience of the nations and see how they process the what they are discussing about here. There's a lot happening to Obasanjo daughter John APC. You see, Tinubu Atiku son John APC. Obasanjo daughter John APC. Now so Obi I don't know how many children they get, but you see one of the child will come back to go join APC. Now go see the child Obidient.
Good morning, Rufi Fire. Very passionate about a good cause. So Moroccans do keep oppressing us in African football.
Let me see what Gloria. What's Gloria? Gloria Chizoba is saying. What are you doing? Are you not concerned? Get up and do that which you feel they don't do. You that is articulated with ideology, can't you do it? Bullshit. No, I can't. I'm not going to. I'm doing it in my own way, not for them. What do you mean? I'm not. That's not for me to do. My job is to tell them. Is also to telling them what to do. Is also part of the job, right? That's you. That's it. Everybody cannot be inside. You see, that's one disadvantage of belonging to a group, because you lost your own ability to think critically to the object of the group, right? So me being an outsider, I'm more useful to the movement than me being the inside. So what am I saying? If you pay attention to some governments in particular, especially this Donald Trump government, I don't know where they have equally people who are playing the outside ostrich, who are equally powerful like those who are in the government. So no, I'm not going to join. I'm more concerned about my constituency, which are the illiterate and the village people. Obey don't stand for that. The obedient people is not for those kind of people. The obedient people is for educated urban elite like Una. So you see where it's very hard for me to say I want to join. But if they pay me, I will. Why not? It's a job. So I'm up for it. Obi is also getting paid. Tanko everybody's getting paid. Why should I work for free? If they pay me, I will work for them. I can't join them because I don't know what they stand for. Okay, so I can't work. Make notice I'm not in Nigerian. I should play my own. It is my own duty. No, I don't know what they stand for, so I can't join them. If I know what they stand for, then I'll not say, okay, yeah, I think I believe in this, or I can. But no. But if they pay me, why not? I'll work for that. But other than that, I am for Monday Paolo 24/7. Understand that, Gloria? So that is what I'm doing. When you are asking, what am I doing? I am making sure Monday Okpabolo will deliver 3.5 million votes for his godfather. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Are you not concerned? I am concerned. That's what I am pitching tents with a village man. Come Monday Okpabolo. That's where my concern is. The forgotten ones, the majority. That's where my concern is. Get up and do which you feel they do not. I am doing it. I am doing it. I am on unofficial 2028 in diaspora mobilization chairman of Monday Paolo. You understand? So that's what I'm doing. You that is articulated with ideology, can't you do it? That's it. My ideology life is the village people. In order for us to make any change, we have to bring the people we have to bring the people who has a larger share of who are more of the stakeholder of the country than me and you, which are the village people. That's where my ideology resides. And Obi don't swing that way. Obi is it belongs to the part of, even though now he pride himself as a trader, but he's the elite, is an elite as it can be. And the movements also center around those elitish way of doing things. For the past 2 years, they resigned to their comfort luxury homes in Abuja, Lagos, New York, Houston, London. You know, now they are coming back. They came out now because it's time to get paid. It's time to harass the innocent 3 years. That if they don't see things their way, they are the problem. You got it? Okay. Let's listen to the conscience of the nation and see how they process things. Gloria, I hope I'm clear. You know, if I'm not clear enough, I can go over it again. You asked what am I doing? I am working out to make sure Monday Paolo win 2028, but most importantly, deliver 3.5 million votes to his political godfather, which is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Are you not concerned? I am concerned. That's why I'm doing that. Get up and do what you feel they don't do. Exactly what I'm doing. You that articulates with ideology and all that. That's what I said. My primary concern is the village constituency, and Obi don't fuck with that. All right, let's go to men in suits.
Real quick, Dr. Bati, you said football
Real
shouldn't
quick, because this is what's trending.
You said football shouldn't cause war. And we know it's a game of
two countries or two.
El Salvador on Honduras because of football. Because that's why Morocco should be careful for what they have done.
Yeah.
But in any case, you know what is important. It's not the size of the punishment. It's the principle of it. And the fact that CAF is upholding the principle about proper conduct, fair play, and integrity.
Yes, and accountability. All right, well, on that very sporty note, let's get straight into what's trending. Today, we kick off with the 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, who took to the streets of Abuja from Abaji to Kwali, Zuba, Gwagwalada, and Amak in the lead up to the February 21st FCT local government elections to show support for the African Democratic Congress, ADC candidates in those constituencies. Walking through the streets of the various local government areas with his supporters, he engaged with citizens and listened to their concerns. As he said, that it's not that he is in the election to change the lives of our
Nigeria. Let nobody make you lose hope. I'm not here. I'm not scared of anybody. And for me, I'm in this election. We must have a better Nigeria for our children.
Well, meanwhile, the ADC has unveiled a 50-member Wise Men and Women Policy and Manifesto Committee to be chaired by Chief John Odigi Oyegun.
That's my problem. Like, we do the same thing every time and we expect change. How? 50 members. So we need at least, maybe I've been Dr. Mokom. Last time I was on Dr. Ameji, I go after the people who don't see anything good in what he's trying to do. But I think instead of having 55,000, 50,000 men, you need to at least have at least 10,000 volunteers on the streets of Abuja. That's what you need. You don't need wise men, foolish men, idiot men, other state. No. You need people on the streets. Anyway, Nathan say, the affliction called Okpabilo shall not be before Edo people again. Second time in Jesus' name. Well, keep praying. We do the work. We see who will win because 2028. That's all I can say to Nat. It's a game. It's a competition. So we'll meet in 2028. Keep evoking God while we evoke the power of the people. And we'll see who wins. Right? Back to our men and women in suits who are assembly 50,000 women are waiting at the top.
Professor Pat Utomi as the deputy chair. However, the main conversation here is, can Peter Obi secure the ADC presidential ticket? We can see the goodwill on the ground. We can see the numbers came out for him in the FCT yesterday. So a lot of conversation happening around that. Dr. Abati, I'll come to you first.
Well, I mean, straight up, Mr. Peter Obi has made it clear that, you know, the greatness of Nigeria is possible with P and O in capital letters. And he has been very consistent that he's in this business of politics, of leading Nigeria to serve the people, to improve the welfare of the people. And he has every legitimate right to say so, whether it is in the south or it is on the streets of Abuja, FCT, where they are having elections, municipal elections, you know, in the FCT. So what I do not agree with is some people saying they are in a position to dictate who should become the candidate when the primaries come up. He's in the ADC, and he has also made it clear that he's going to run to win particularly at the primaries level. But there are other contestants. The only concern about people is the rhetoric coming from Obidient. The person is called Obidient, who has almost been as magisterial, judgmental as some other persons involved in the matter, saying that it must be Peter Obi by force. You know, in a democratic process, you cannot dictate the outcome of a process. And I would just say, you know, the people in the ADC,
They are not debating. They are not dictating. I like all these professionals, provocateur, I be what they call them. They are not journalists. I like when he starts to say, yes, Obi has the right to prefer that he wants to serve the people, however we're in Tokam and all that. But what I'm against is the rhetoric coming from the Obidient that Obi, if Obi or nothing. What that's an open debate. Isn't that what democracy is all about? They are not forcing anybody. They are openly saying this is who we want, him or nobody. They are saying they are not going to vote for any other person. So if you believe it's a primary and it's open for contestation, and those people are making their case beforehand, who cares whether you agree with it or not? But I understand you have to do your job, and your job is to make things more controversial for the people. See the people as a problem. No, these are Obidient, these are a group of Nigerians who are very focused on what they want. So it is a competition. They are not saying there should be no primary, there should be no primaries. But they are just saying, hey, come rain, come shine. This is our stand. Even though personally I see it as a distraction, so necessarily. But hey, that's how the game is played. It's an open debate.
and also the members of the Obidient movement should know that politics is also, you know, about respecting the rights of other people, you know, to make a free choice. Either within the party, we should have internal democracy, or in the general field, where the rights of the people to choose should be respected.
Absolutely. I know there were also some concerns that movie factor of 2023 had died down, and some of these visuals, you know, making people question the reality, although it's just FCT. But that conversation is still happening there, whether the Obi factor can sweep through the same way it did in 2023. Ayo.
All right, so let me just say that every single election from now to the mid-2020 is going to be important, critical, and a show of just how much political muscle and power that each individual or each candidate carries. And of course, the conversation has been around since the defection formally from the Labour Party to the ADCs. That can Peter Obi work the magic he did?
I like Ayo. Ayo is getting better in the way she sees things, you know. But that should be the energy since 2023, after they lost that election. They shouldn't have waited to the 2 hours before 2027 before they start, before they want to flex their muscle. I use Mandani as an example from New York, the mayor of New York, the current mayor. I know we may use that. They brought it up the other day that we were having this conversation on when Dr. Mo was on Dr. Dameji. The Democrats also lost election in 2024. They never waited till 2027 before they say we want to show our muscle. No. They cry, they complain, they throw their tantrum, they do everything, they protested, they are still protesting. They are doing everything that is expected that we, the Obedience, are doing. But the only thing they are doing exceptionally fail to yield to is that they, in the midst of that cry and frustration, when people say, "Who they cry, they see road." Some few people among them see the need that they come. We cannot go down like this. We have to find a way to re-energize, to tell the young people, especially who believe in us, that it is not the end. That yes, defeat is part of the process. They went into action with Mandani, firing. 20,000 people were on the streets mobilizing votes. I was there. I did there. I know. I am not just speaking because I read it or I see it from TV. No, I was in New York when I did see this thing they happen. I was tempted more than thrice to go time hall meeting, but also don't agree. That's the only thing the obedience are missing. So I agree with her. She's spot on when she said that at this point, every election, it will be important because you have to be able to prove to your voter, to your base that yes, we have what it takes. But it's a little bit too late. The election since 2023. Opabolo was elected. Why Nathan that they pray? Anyway.
He came with his Obidient movement, energized the party, and actually came third according to INEC's, release of results at the last presidential elections. That was a massive feat for anyone to achieve. And so the big question is that if he's able to achieve this, where is the potential for their chances at winning or clinching that presidential slot during the elections of 2027, and put this into consideration with him getting the ticket, against big heavyweights like Atiku. You've brought me a number of times. We should always remind us that
I think that will go down in history as one of the best politicians of present-day Nigeria. You see the way all these journalists they talk about how heavyweight. These are not this choice of words. They are not just coming out because that's how they want to speak. No, these are deliberate choice of words that over time has been inculcated into their vocabularies based on the kind of move the guy they make behind the scene. So the guy know they make noise like that, but it's always on the news. Just people will come and study these moves in the later dates, or the future generation we hear about this man, and they will study how he's able to do it for over 30 years. Regardless of which direction it takes, you will see journalists and pretty much people, young and old, carefully choosing their words to describe this man. That's something.
Also,
because he fought a good fight.
He did. And whether we like it or not,
primary.
he also has his own political clout. So just to mention that this is a big show, that Peter Obi still has the a magic touch with his people. He's still in touch with the Obidient, and maybe this might be the upsets that a number of the coalitions are looking forward to.
I'm impressed with Ayo,
Let's see how he consolidates on this.
All right. Well,
I don't like to get ahead of myself. Yeah. Number one, Obi still has his touch, but I don't think it will impact these local council elections in Abuja because elections are local. If ADC does not have a strong candidate on ground, and you think because Obi went there to campaign, nothing will happen. No. Obi equally went to campaign for Mogalu that has now left.
No, I agree with Oseni on this, based on the fact that you're just re-echoing what I've been saying. Politics is local. Show me the men, the volunteers on ground, and I'll tell you what will be the outcome of the results. And to take it a step further, what Rufa is saying, it doesn't matter how many rally the Obedients are going to hold in 2023. It's not going to change the outcome of the result if they don't have volunteers on the street from now on. It doesn't matter. I talk him. Politics is local. You don't have business wasting your energy at the national level when you are not a billionaire, one, and two, you don't have national presence. So Oseni, okay. Maybe not the suit where you wear.
The Labour Party in Anambra State, after using the Labour Party, nothing still happened. So let's not delude ourselves. I'll tell you the pure facts. Second, as regards the obedience saying is obe or not, in Dr. Abati, you can't be judge or begrudge a group of persons for having a firm mindset of support. Yes, that's democracy. If it doesn't go their way afterwards, they will see what is on ground. But you cannot say that they have the right not to be able to toot their candidate. People will toot their candidates. There's no how.
Thank you.
I think for me also, as regards this ADC committee coming together, is the fact that hope they are not already making mistakes now. A case of Yemi Adamolekun is there. So how did the ADC go put Yemi Adamolekun on a team where she has not agreed to be part of?
That's the point.
It shows some of their shenanigans to start with. And I keep saying all of these things. Please, they must be able to look internally and look.
It is because it's a game of few players. Now only us, we sabi speak grammar, who are educated, cosmopolitan in nature. That's why they can afford to do that. Imagine if the gap between the so-called educated and the village people is not that wide. They won't be doing that. They will focus on those numbers first. How do we get the majority out on the vote? Which is why, by making sure you announce a lot of capitals to what put people on the street in the name of volunteers. When you hear Republicans, they thought say Elon Musk came into the game with $250 million. What the fuck do you think that money is for? It's to sustain volunteers on the streets. So what the point Rufai is making here, it is very, very important because we are used to that. We just accept. It's the same thing like setting up a committee. When something is wrong in the country, the president could say, "I'll set up a committee." That's what these people are doing. Just assemble few intellectuals, the grammar speakers, the opinion shapers, the nonsense and trash talkers, like Patotomi Amadi and the rest of them. As if they will actually be able to lead people on the street. No. I expect those people, as I said, anything at this point of the game, everything should be centered around volunteers. But just because the word volunteer is used doesn't mean it's free. It takes money. That's why they are not doing it. To keep people on the street 2-3 times a week, every day, making sure the ideology and what the goal of the candidate or the party is always on the lips of the people. It costs money. It costs time. So they rather stay, they make noise on media. That's why they assemble those people. Because it's easy. They all have to pay their rents and bills anyway. Part of them, you get job again. I said that they don't live with the Reason Center. Every goddamn one of them. This is what they are. This is their career. They are political jobbers. Made them come write manifesto. Like, who cares? We don't know our problem. Our problems are not that sophisticated. Yeah, we are not we never get problem where we say we require brain to navigate some countries to solve. No, we don't get light. That is very black and white. Our things are bad. Practically, you don't need professors to come and put to brainstorm to bring our policy. No be where we they go. We are not scrambling to say how do we get resources to sustain ourselves. That's not what we are talking about. So Gloria, where they tell say why I no join no follow the Obidient. This is it. Because I can see clearly that they are in shit other than want to get paid. I want to get paid too. Shit.
And get their processes right so that people will not be talking anyhow to them.
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the big themes really is to see whether internal democracy will actually succeed in when the ADC primary comes about, because of course we know the reputation that primaries have, and we look forward to seeing how that plays out. We're still talking elections, as the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria has renewed its call for the immediate removal and prosecution of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Joash Amupitan, ahead of the 2027 general elections, describing him as a threat to the credibility of Nigeria's democratic process. Well, the council warned that Muslims would neither recognize nor legitimize any election conducted under Amupitan's leadership, citing that what it described as serious integrity and neutrality concerns. The president of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, Sheikh Bashir Umar, said the council's stance was based on what it described as the INEC chairman's questionable antecedents, particularly a legal brief he authored affirming the existence of a Christian genocide in Nigeria. According to him, the position taken by the INEC chairman amounted to divisive propaganda and raised serious doubts about his impartiality as the head of Nigeria's electoral body. You can imagine this is a topic that would generate a lot of feedback, especially on social media. Let's go to X quickly and see what people had to say. In this post, Yakubu wrote,
let me have my say first. It doesn't matter what Christians think or what the Muslims think about the appointment of the INEC chairman. What matters is what Nigerians think. Right? But I understand why the Muslim sect is taking that position. I would do the same thing too. Because as I said the strike on December 25th, 2025 has pushed us to another level that we can never come back from. We can only go forward from there. It has opened that gap, that division that we are hiding, that Nigeria is not divided along tribal line. Yes, it is divided along tribal line. But from my own point of view, I think we have solved that solution. We don't to marry ourselves. We don't to entangle ourselves so that we cannot carry guns against ourselves anymore. But guess what? We will then well carry grenade bombs against ourselves in the name of God. And that is what 2025 airstrike by the United States of America exposed. We are never going to come back from that to divide. We are divided along two religious civilizations, Christian and Muslim. That was what that December 25th actually bring to the forefront of our politics. So if the Muslim sect is exploring that, I don't blame them. I will do the same thing, because since Bola Tinubu come back and the rhetoric of Christian genocide shifted from being that it is a lie, it is not based on a credible source, that rhetoric has taken the front seat of our conversation to the point that they are accusing the Southwest of reporting Nigeria for that action to take place. You see why I talk, say they know what they are doing, I will do the same thing? Because at the end of the day, it's all about winning. It's not about a Muslim or Christian agreeing or not agreeing who should be the INEC chairman. It's just to explore that toxic divide, that fourth line divide amongst us till the die minute, which is the election day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game, man. The Bible says just time for every goddamn thing. This is time to politic. This is time to compete. Kana Ninja, Abi Ovi, why do you fight the intellectuals when you are intellectual yourself? Who told you that? who told you that? Who tells you that? Who is telling you that? Who was telling you that? Who told you that I'm intellectual? Kilo Jembe, what does that even mean? Will you classify my political godfather an intellectual? If you do, then I agree with you. If you classify my political godfather, Monday Paolo, let me adopt her as my political godfather, just so you understand. If you see him as an intellectual, then I go with you. But other than that, I don't think I'm close. I'm more of a Paolo than an intellectual. All right? I'm more on the common sense side, you know. You know, I'm also leaning towards what's it be name? The man that wrote Miseducation of the Black Negro. I'm on the belief that we are all being miseducated. So I rely to my common sense. That's just pretty much. And it's not just it's not even by that. There's a clear divide between the educated intellectuals and the illiterate ones, as quote unquote as they put it. So I'm part of the majority. But again, to go with you, if you believe that my governor, my political oracle is an intellectual, I'm with you. But other than that, let's chigaba. Let's go back to the noise around the INEC chair.
Appointments are not determined by feelings of religious groups. Nigeria belongs to all. Okweolua also posted and said it must inspire confidence along religious and ethnic lines, but not competence. God. This last post on X says, well, it's hard to satisfy everyone in this country. What we truly need is a strong, principled leader who stands firm and makes decisions in the nation's best interest. I love that tweet because, in essence, Nigeria is such a diverse nation that it's going to be impossible to please everyone, and we also don't expect the leaders to sell ice cream. They're not here to sell people ice cream, but we also do expect principled decision making. Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this topic of this Sharia council saying that Muslims will reject any election under Amupiton, as if Muslims in Nigeria are one group.
Well, I think that the Department of State Services, the DSS, and other relevant agencies should invite this Sheikh Bashir Umar for a conversation and to advise him to he himself had divisive propaganda before the commencement of the 2027 elections. Interestingly enough, the Sheikh was talking about Nigeria's future, faith, leadership, and I think justice. Now, I cannot put that on the tripod of religious division and say that for religious reasons, on the basis of antecedents that he may not also be well apprised of, that the INEC chairman should be removed immediately. Otherwise, or they will not accept.
Obidient, I beg, more than like, share, and subscribe to my platform now. I'm just here. I know. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Even though I'm not an obedient, I'm more of a disobedient political animal. But I'm you guys' fan, okay? So you guys should follow me on this journey. I can only advise, but at the same time, share on you people too, because it is what it is. Like, share, and subscribe.
Results announced under the leadership of Professor Amukuton. No, that kind of rhetoric is dangerous for society. And that is why I think it should be called to order. Because as a sheikh, he occupies a position of importance. As president of the Sharia Council, he occupies a very important position. And there may be less knowledgeable people, who may be tempted to believe what he's saying and then act on the basis of his own affirmation from the high pedestal that he occupies. The second point is about Professor Amukuton. Now, the Amukuton was said to have written a legal brief which is in circulation, where he's alleged to have said, there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. I don't know what date this was, but nobody, I think, should capitalize to say, because you are a Christian or because likely to affect the outcome. Section 10 of the Nigerian Constitution is very clear that there shall be no state religion. Nobody is given a major appointment in government in this country on the basis written of being a Christian or a Muslim. Now people talk about tickets, Muslim, Christian, Muslim. It's a conventional thing. It's a tool of convenience for politicians looking for what best serves their purpose. But Nigeria does not have such an official policy, whether it's at the presidential level or anywhere. And it's not written anywhere in law. What I expect the Sheikh to be saying lies is followers, as Nigerians who have civic duty and responsibility to make their own choice, vote, and to respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Abbas. You said the Constitution said there must be no state religion. Why do we have pilgrims board for both religion? And why does the government religious travel every year?
Am I quoting the... Yes, there should no state religion.
No, I said
federation.
Dr. Abbas, yes. You now have pilgrims board. And subsidized religious travel every year.
We have often take that politicians should not use the divisive factors of religion and ethnicity for their own political purposes.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why I said, you know, it's politicians who do this for purposes of convenience and political opportunism. But it should not be something that people in positions of leadership should be promoting or using to incite the public. Incitement to violence or hatred.
My guest is a foremost Nollywood actor, and in a swift move, he became a political activist. In the build-up to the 2023 elections, he emerged as a leading spokesman of the Peter Obi presidential campaign. But in a surprising move after the election, he ran from the camp. March again toward the 2027 elections, and Peter Obi has indicated interest to run for president, with Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo stage a return to the camp he once left. I am Shomomo Imodu. This is Fireworks. We put him under check. Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo, nice to have you on my talk today.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure welcoming everybody watching us from any part of the world.
Now, in the build-up to the 2023 election, you became very, your advocacy became strong in helping to refix Nigeria. But before then, people knew you so well as the man who is very active in the Nollywood. Now, the perception out there is that
well, you know, there's no retirement thing. Because when you become a child, you can be given the role of a child. When you become an adult, when you become a grandfather. So there's no retirement age. Once a Nollywood actor, always a Nollywood actor. Yeah. So I am still a Nollywood actor, and my constituency will always be Nollywood.
But now you are a key player in the political scene.
Absolutely. Now
in 2023, below 2023, you decided to pitch tent with Mr. Peter Obi, and you were the leading spokesman for that presidential campaign. Tell us briefly, how did you feel fitting into that circle of the man who people said never had a structure and wanted to become the president of Nigeria?
Yeah, first and foremost, I pitched my tent with the people of Nigeria. People of Nigeria were looking for a new Nigeria. And I entered politics for the security and welfare of Nigerians. And so, in 2023, I made it very clear that was the turn of the Southeast. First and foremost, because it was to rotate, and in the South, it was only the Southeast that had not produced the president and the vice. And P2B came along as a man that was from the Southeast, a man committed to the new 94. And then he was my candidate, and I campaigned for him. I do not believe you need structures to win election. You need the people. However, our experience in 2023 has made me to know that in Nigeria, because of the fraudulent practices of the electoral body, you need structures to defend your vote. So
so you agree that you need structure?
Very well. These two need to go together.
Okay.
The people and the structure.
Okay.
They are very important in Nigeria.
In Nigeria. And this is Nigerian politics. So we'll play the politics according to Nigeria. Now, I like what you have just said. You need the people and you need the structure
to be able to defend their votes when they give to you.
Now, after the election, there was a series of...
You see why I hate the intellectuals. You see how stupid they are. A man that says that he joined politics because he recognized that the people of Nigeria need welfare and whatever bullshit that they said. That's why he came into the arena. As at last election, they were saying nothing like structure, the people are the structure. Even though they refuse to invest on the people since that 2023. Invest on the people means by educating them, empowering them all the way. They refuse to do that, but it runs to people that have the structure. With the admission that you need structure to actually win, right? These are the people that say structures are the people, which is the same. Now he's saying that both of them are what working hand in hand. Now, instead of him to now say, fine, since this is our reality, and we have the energy of the people, to quote Tanko, energy people, that anybody who wants to win election should come and take advantage of it. With the realization that you need a structure, why not empower these young people with their energy and use them to plant, to build, to establish structures all over the country and grow that structure, instead of leaping to an established structure already, thinking that you can actually make an effect or change with your broke ass. So this is why I hate the intellectuals. They theorize every solution, put them for book. Now come out and do the job, it becomes a problem. Now you have confessed, you have realized that you need structure. The structures are waiting that human being. Use the young people. Tanko is saying that the energy is out there for people to take advantage of. Why not use that to say, you know what, I want to build a political structure, even though I might not be alive to actually benefit from that structure when it finally matured. That's how leaders emerge. That's how you change things. That is how you build institution. Because whether you like it or not, those structures that he's talking about are the institutions. Political party is part of an institution that a country should be built on. That's why I'm advocating for one party system. Maybe that is what will bring all these ideas together and let them compete under one table, under one platform, and see who is going to win. Because all this complaint, APC is using police, APC is using HINEC, APC is using tout, APC is using this, APC is using that. If everybody did APC, that lazy argument will disappear. So this is my grievances with intellectuals.
Series of court cases,
yes,
and also now we have a build-up to the 2027 election.
Yes.
Do you think that Mr. Peter Obi also is building his structure, or is just talking about the people? Because a lot of people said, where is the structure? Is it the Obidient movement that is the structure? Is Obidient a political party?
Now, you should be asking Peter Obi and his spokespersons. You are actually asking the wrong person.
Okay.
I am not in his structure, so I wouldn't be able to tell you whether he's building or not. No. So I know that he's now a member of ADC.
ADC, yeah.
And I know that ADC is building structures from the police
So I just dey shout all this while I no talk. I know I muted myself, and you guys refuse to even say a thing. I'm ashamed of you people. More than like, share, first subscribe. This same question that was asked, make I play him again, that was asked Kenneth Okonkwo. I asked the same question on Dr. Damage's 90 Minutes Africa. When he came, Kenneth Okonkwo came to that show. Let me play the question again.
Talking about the people, because a lot of people said, where is the structure? Is it the Obidient movement that is the structure? Is Obidient a political party?
Now, you should be asking Peter Obi and his spokesperson. You are actually
Couple of months later, the guy come for there. So the same question. They are not doing anything. They are goddamn too fucking lazy. They go come and start insulting innocent Nigerian for not following what they think it is right. That's why I hate intellectuals. They see problem, they articulated, they put it in black and white. They say, okay, then now I should carry it out. It becomes a problem. You have just agreed that the unique structure, that the structure is beyond just the people. But in the recent, now the people they use create structure. What is stopping you people? Obi has done a great job, has used the name to create an environment, and as you don't fear, put a name out there for you people to ride on. I, who is not an obedient, can go out there in any part of the world today and raise money in the name of Obi, and they go donate to me, regardless of how I present myself. But if I put Obi first, I think people will give me attention. So he has made it so easy for you people to actually go and use that energy that Tanko was talking about. Tanko message was that anybody who wants to win an election should come and take advantage of the obedience energy. What's stopping you people, Kenneth Okonkwo, to use that energy to plant or establish a structure that will grow over time? You guys will not do that because you will know it takes time to actually build a structure. I mean, by that time you will be dead. You will not be able to take advantage of what you started. That's where I have problem with these people. Power comes from building something first. So it's not just enough that you have realization that you need structure. Structure is built by using people, and the people are there, the young people are there and ready and be willing to use to build structure. Una ignore them because you guys know it takes time, effort, and cash. So they don't answer the same question again. his acting movie.
In the wrong person.
Okay.
I am not in his structure, so I wouldn't be able to tell you,
When you did that,
whether he's building or not.
No.
So I know that he's now a member of ADC.
ADC, yeah.
I know ADC is building from the state to the highest level.
Now, if he invites you,
yes,
to work with him ahead of 2027, will you join his camp?
I am a member of the National Working Committee of ADC, so I work for ADC until our candidate, the party, will work for the candidate. So I will work for whoever emerges as the candidate of ADC.
Now, I listened to one of your interviews on a different platform, and just to quote some of the things you said. You said when he's, it is not true. Obi is changing himself. Again, you said nobody in Obi's political. Obi is committing political.
I'm
change from what you have observed.
And I mean what I said. And
now the ANC political position and they have
no, they're dead.
How would you say?
They're existing on paper.
They all have crises. The ADC has crisis.
The crisis has reached the point that even the constitution can leave the party. INEC has not recognized. You can see how it's rejected from the process of a recognition.
But then, to recognize either of them, the Labour Party will swing into action.
The election.
Now, if
I just told you about the importance of structures, and structures are very important. Whatever you do to PDP or in position to whose leader has elicited resolve that power is not served a la carte. You fight for it, you grab it, you snatch it and run away. That was what Tinubu said. So if you are an opposition party and you are not organized, you want to face such a man, he will make a mincemeat of you. So as we are going to 2027, the whole opposition are united in one resolution. We will go into this contest together, and together we will retire Tinubu to body.
When you say the whole opposition, are there talks between the PDP, the ADC, and also the Labour Party? Are there talks going on?
Every opposition, of course, there is a talk for us to unite, and that talk will succeed, because you don't deal with an incompetent and corrupt government and not have a unity amongst the opposition leaders. Let's talk about what is happening from January 1. As I'm talking to you, a nurse, Chinemerem Chukwumeziem of the FMC, whose medical director, Professor Said Ahmed, described as a rising star, whose future has great promise, was cut down on the street of Abuja, serving his fatherland. And I am talking about a lady that was made the best nurse of the year 2025 by FMC, Federal Medical Center. What about the lawyer, the former treasurer of the MBA, Mwabo Chibo, Mwamaka Chibo? She's cut down. The same method. Chinemerem's case happened on the 3rd. The political elites governing the federal and the FCT did not do anything. On the 5th, The same thing happened to your lawyer.
The insecurity is one thing that bothers a lot of Nigerians, and it's one crisis that outlived several governments. Since the time Boko Haram came in, we've been dealing with Boko Haram, we've been dealing with banditry and all that. Now, what do you think is the way to deal with this challenge?
Now, you know, in 2023 campaign, I told Nigerians that PDP, APC, they are two heads of a monster. And I said it that they do not have the truth in them. They are the problem, part of the problem of this country. You rightly pointed out this insecurity issue, or let's say the terrorism angle of the insecurity issue,
which gave rise to every other one.
You know, started in 2009 when PDP was in power, but that was limited to the Northeast. Today, as I talk to you, it is everywhere in Nigeria. Every day it is happening. 5 people were just killed in Ibadan. National Park. And Tinubu is in charge of the security alone.
When you say he cannot bring state police, is it the executive that would decree a state police?
Yes.
Or the National Assembly will work on it?
Yes.
Make the necessary laws to bring about state
laws.
The state police, is it? It's not a police. Push for an executive
deal for the National Assembly. Can originate law, but if it is a priority for this government, like the tax, which is meant to increase the burden of Nigerians, now you're in this place. I invited you. We celebrate Christmas in darkness, celebrated New Year in darkness, and they say this government is not offering any infrastructure. He has removed subsidy. He is only interested in punishing the people more.
Let's come back to this. We started talking about moving to the tax. Let's stay with the issue to an issue.
Go ahead.
Now, before now, we had this insecurity, and I remember that when President Jonathan was in charge, there are certain individuals just around the election period that came and said we're going to make Nigeria ungovernable.
Yes.
And also, election is just around the corner. You have heightened. Individuals. I'm not going to mention names of individuals. You must have heard it. I was on on my platform on Fireworks, one of the key leaders said if Jonathan was going to contest that re-election, that they will make Nigeria ungovernable. And for the next 4 years, the doctrine of necessity, dealing with the issue of terrorism, dealing with the issue of terrorism. Now, what I'm asking is, could it be a political tool of blackmail that just before a major election you're going to have heightened insecurity because some people want to use it to political bargain? Is that political coloration to this heightened insecurity? I asked you a question.
That's what I'm saying. You know why I'm saying this? How can a government that is in charge of all the coercive powers, the police, the army, the whole armed forces, the intelligence, give you excuse, or some people in the government into using security?
I didn't say government said it. People. I said on my platform somebody said that if you run, we'll make it ungovernable. Yeah. And I also observed that just before a major election again, there is a heightened insecurity. Then I'm asking you, is it that? I didn't
First of all, that is what I'm saying. That of the ruling government. When Tinubu came into power, he was greeted with a massacre of people in Benue, of people in Plateau. 500 persons they were killed in Plateau.
But Kenneth, you're a spokesman for Peter Obi, and just before that election, Mr. Peter Obi also alluded to the fact that if he becomes the president of Nigeria, was going to remove the subsidy.
He didn't say that he was going to.
He said all the
Can you allow me to stop to talk?
Yeah.
I said he did not say it that he will irresponsibly remove first subsidy.
The question Did he say he will remove it or not?
Kenneth Okonkwo would have removed first subsidy.
So why blame a government that had the guts to remove the subsidy?
I will not stay in inauguration ground before having a cabinet, before assessing the impact of the
question is the time,
without bringing soft landing for the poor people.
Okay, so it's the timing, not the subsidy that is the issue.
Of course, the timing, because I told the president, wait, I granted an interview a day after he removed that subsidy. That was when I told people we have to be as careful in coming out of oil subsidy as we were careless in going in.
All right.
Now, what he would have done, like I said, allowed our refineries to start working first and allow that there will be no monopoly. In other words, when you have sufficient supply and you have competition, like we did in our telecommunication, we remove the subsidy.
But now we left off talking about subsidy, the timing of subsidy, and also you said that it should have allowed the refineries to start working
to ensure supplies, and then
now
let's
take our minds
no monopoly
back to the previous governments that have taken several steps to ensure that our refinery work. We've had series of turnaround maintenance, and billions, even some people have said trillions have been spent.
I agree with you.
Without anything coming out from it.
Sure.
And you still want government to devote its fund into those refineries. Now, if you were to have an opportunity, will you invest in those refineries, or you will tactically look for other means to help other refineries to come up because they keep gulping public fund?
What I said in my interview before now, sell off the refineries. How can you for 30 years?
Is it that easy to sell off?
Very easy.
Well, you're not aware that Obidient sold the refinery, and when Yaradua came in, Labour pressured him and said it must be reversed.
You are an incompetent government and leader if you're pressured to do the wrong thing. You are the one wearing the shoes of government. You are the one that was voted in by the people, and you're telling me this person pressured you.
So the subsidy that was being paid,
you should tell people what they should hear, not what they want to hear. Spending money on the refineries.
Are you comfortable
they told
with
us
people?
It will work. By December,
are you comfortable? Are you comfortable that we should be spending subsidy?
And he's still spending money, throwing money away to people to swallow. Now you allow people to eat all the money, and then you come back to say EFCC, and the EFCC people maybe will continue the era of politics.
Let's take a look at this subsidy.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate you keep talking about it.
You keep talking. Government has no business spending
why not listen to my question? Why not listen to my question? Do you want
Dangote that came in, is it owned by government? And that is about one of the largest refineries in the world.
And what is government?
30 years ago,
what is government? Is government not the ability to create their
like Dangote's, and we wouldn't have a problem spending ₦1 in dead horses.
Does that not surprise you? That this government
Ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's take a break and we'll come back later. Ciao, ciao.